All right, thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nakrin. We're just about a year and a half away now from the presidential election primary. Georgia's importance in national elections is certainly continuing to grow. And Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger announced March 12th as the presidential primary date for 2024. Earlier this year, remember, national Democrats voted to back a proposal to make Georgia the fourth state to vote on the presidential primary calendar. And it was part of President Biden's effort to better reflect our country's diversity by scheduling more diverse states earlier in the primary. But that vote and the wishes of the state and national Democrats apparently did not hold a lot of weight without the support of Georgia Republicans. Well, Georgia law gives sole power to schedule the presidential primary to the Secretary of State, and Brad Raffensperger made the call to place the state's primary on March 12th of 2024, a week after Super Tuesday. And here's some of his comments.
Once again, Georgia will be at the center of the national focus, and we believe that's a good thing. Our voters are diverse, they're smart, and they're politically savvy. And because Georgia is the bellwether state, if you can win Georgia, you will win nationally.
And remember, Georgia went Democrat in the presidential race in 2020 for the first time since 1992. It was a narrow margin, just over 11,000 votes. And part of the reason President Biden wanted to move Georgia earlier on the primary calendar, again, no doubt, hopes to capture the state again. And we should also mention Secretary Raffensperger said there will be 2 weeks of early voting leading up to the March 12th primary as well. There's a day of reflection at Northside Medical Center following the tragedy there on Wednesday. The hospital there is just asking for everyone to kind of take this time to kind of reflect on what happened and offer condolences, thoughts, and prayers to the victims. Meanwhile, as many people were watching the events of Wednesday unfold, many people actually became part of the process, calling in tips to authorities and so forth. During that time, as Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm reports, many individuals believed that they spotted the shooting suspect. Let's listen.
I believe the shooter that was in downtown may be outside of our building.
On Wednesday, Cobb residents near Truist Park frantically began calling 911 after spotting someone in their neighborhood who they say fit the description of Midtown shooting suspect Deon Patterson.
We saw a guy in a gray hoodie that looks very similar to the pictures walking around the exterior of our building. I'm not sure if it's him, but I just wanted to call.
At least 5 neighbors called authorities and reported similar sightings.
I'm in my apartment building, and I just so happen to see that there's somebody sitting out, like, under a tree, like around this pond that I can see from, like, my balcony. And he's been sitting there at this point for maybe about 30 minutes. He has on, like, a hoodie, and it's like the hood is, like, up over him.
One man said he also noticed footprints in the mud near his home in a place where there's normally no foot traffic.
I did notice some shoe prints that were Air Force Ones, distinctly Air Force One, which stood out to me because normally in this area that I walk, it's a little muddy. I normally only ever see my own shoe prints.
Ultimately, Cobb police found Patterson hiding in a wooded area near the Waterford condo complex off Herodian Way. He was taken into custody without incident as neighbors watched and thanked first responders.
Awesome job.
Our thanks to Rebecca Schramm for that report. Many people, not only, of course, in England, but here in the United States, looking forward to the coronation of Britain's King Charles, just a day away now. This is the gold state coach that Charles and the Queen Consort Camilla Parker Bowles are going to be riding in for the coronation process. Talk about history. This was first used by King George III to travel to the opening of Parliament in 1762, and it's been used at every coronation since William IV in 1831. Students from the King's former elementary school are already celebrating. King Charles was actually the first monarch to be educated outside the palace, believe it or not. And coming up at 10:30 here on Atlanta News First Plus, we're going to speak live from London with a Georgia man who's actually a friend of King Charles. He's the president of the National Monuments Foundation. He's there for the coronation in London, and he's going to have that conversation with us and a little bit of a preview coming up in a short time here. For right now, I want to check out the forecast. We have meteorologist Cutter Martin tracking the latest. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's kind of a gloomier start. Certainly not as sunny, not as pretty of a start to the work days we have had the past several days. Nonetheless, not too bad out there. We have an area of rain approaching from the west, and you can kind of see that right now on First Alert Radar. We have a big view for you at the moment. We will zoom down in here in just a second. Do want to kind of reset the scene, let you know that we are tracking that rain moving in ever so gradually from the west and the southwest. So that's going to be the battleground. I think mainly Mississippi, mainly Alabama, far west Georgia, southwest Georgia, the Gulf Coast, and I-10 corridor. That's the focus area for rain over the next several days. Nonetheless, we do still have that chance of some additional showers today. We'll call it spotty rain in the forecast. This is not worth canceling any plans over, but just remain aware that rain could briefly, impact some plans, but nothing that I think is an outright canceler here over the next really several days. This kind of lingering rain chance remains in the First Alert forecast. All right, we're going to dive down into North Georgia right now. Again, we'll turn radar onto a more sensitive mode. It gives you a better idea as to where rain is currently falling, and this is kind of the good idea here at Carroll County, more so into Cleburne, Randolph counties in Alabama, Troup and Heard counties back into Georgia. And notice how this rain is moving in, but this is looping for the past 45 minutes, and you can almost see that kind of wall that it's hitting there from Carrollton down to Thomaston, Upson County. If you live north and east of that wall, including the city of Atlanta, Social Circle, Athens, Eatonton, Putnam County. If you have Friday plans, Lake Sinclair and Oconee, we're a little drier. Yeah, we have the clouds. Spotty showers are possible, but I do think that the greatest rain chance is roughly along and south and west of that line. At least that's where the rain will be most persistent, but we do still have a chance of scattered showers, kind of hit or miss rain across the heart of the metro. Right now, the only real shower activity, and this is probably just sprinkles, and that's confined to Bartow County, moving into western portions of Cherokee County, Lake Altoona here, the I-75 corridor, 575, that stretch there into far northern Cobb County here over the next several minutes. Maybe a few sprinkles inside the perimeter up into South Gwinnett, also just north of Dallas, north and east of Dallas into Paulding County. But rain is very spotty. Again, overall forecast today, lots of clouds, but rain will be hit or miss. It's not going to be a washout by any stretch of the imagination, hour by hour forecast. And despite the clouds, we're still going to warm up pretty substantially today with temperatures back in the upper 60s and lower 70s as we get into the heart of the afternoon. Wesley Millsap, hello to you. Carlson Hatcher, watching from Cornelia, Georgia. Wesley, again, good morning to you. Thanks for checking in, for streaming, for saying what's up. And again, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, we're live across many platforms right now, including Roku, Amazon Fire, AtlantaNewsFirst.com, the Atlanta News First app, the First Alert Weather app. But if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, maybe you want a clarification on the forecast, you have any weekend plans, two places where you can ask your questions. Atlanta News First on YouTube Live right now. Also Atlanta News First, we are live, that account on Facebook. And again, forecast relatively low impact today, though we do have lots of clouds and isolated to widely scattered showers on the way. So not a completely dry day, nonetheless not as bad as it could be for those plans. Let's take a look at what radar may look like a little bit later today. Bear with me, I'm going to switch over weather graphics and we'll kind of take a different look at some of the same forecast material, but this is gonna broaden out the view, give us a bigger picture as to what the afternoon may look like outside of Metro Atlanta. Notice 10 a.m. There's that rain southwest side, and it kind of remains on the southwest side through the lunch hour, 1 p.m. excuse me, by 3 p.m. The bulk of the rain kind of breaking up even southwest of Atlanta. Some spotty showers possible this evening. Let's not forget, it is Cinco de Mayo. If you have any plans, going out to your favorite restaurant, grabbing a drink, enjoying food with friends and family, it's not going to be a bad day, but there could be a spotty shower around through the dinner time hours, 6, 7, 8 p.m. Temperatures, relatively cool in the 60s, maybe a very light jacket, but a little milder than it was yesterday evening. And by 11 p.m. for the late nighters out there, Temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Metro Atlanta, spotty rain showers, lots of clouds. Could be a spotty shower early Saturday, mainly east and northeast of I-85. So Lawrenceville, Gainesville, Covington, Athens, the favored communities for hit or miss rain Saturday. Southwest side of the metro, probably drier. And look what happens as we go into the afternoon. We may actually see some more sunshine, though not completely sunny. And I think Saturday's a drier day, with temperatures peaking in the low to mid 70s by 9 p.m. Saturday for any dinner and after dinner plans. Not going to be bad. Here's that 7-day forecast, certified most accurate. 30% chance of that mainly morning rain on Saturday. Even drier Sunday, maybe some more sunshine. We're back in the lower 80s, low to mid 80s Monday, Tuesday afternoons with a little uptick in the chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not a washout, neither Monday nor Tuesday going to be a washout, but a slight uptick in the chance of rain. We're up to 86 Wednesday, 88 Thursday, pushing 90, folks. Believe it or not, heat haters probably not happy by that extended forecast there, but it will be warm. It's going to get much, much warmer. We know that. We're confident in that part of the forecast as we get into the middle and latter portion of next week. So just keep an eye on that if you don't like the warm weather. Maybe scoot that run time up a little earlier in the day, push it back a little later, closer to sunset, but warm up is on the way. Again, we're going to wrap up this feed now. Time now is 10:13. Reminder, we have an 11 o'clock stream here, and we're back on Atlanta News First at noon. If you are away from the TV anytime between now and then, maybe you missed the stream, you can always get that forecast at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. And in the Atlanta News First Alert Weather app, we'll leave you with a live look at the 7-day forecast. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. And again, we'll see you again right here in about 45 minutes.